What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just very quickly, before we go ahead and get into the topic of today's video, can we just take a second and look at this just outstanding gameplay? And not from a gameplay perspective or, skill, whatever. It's World at War. I mean, look at it. It's World at War. This game was just an absolute banger back in the day, and the vibes still live up to my expectations in the year of 2023. I mean, shoot, even on some of these large maps like Roundhouse, like you see right here, where tanks are involved in the mix in a Call of Duty title, it still works so dang well. Man, if you guys ever want to go ahead and squad up with me, I'm always playing these games. Keep in mind, I am on PC. Console, it's a little bit harder to find active experiences without it being hacked to death. Yes, there are certain days and different hours that you can hop on and find matches, but the majority of the time it will be a pain in the butt. PC, luckily, we have modded servers, Plutonium and XLab, so we can play stuff like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, or even Call of Duty 4 or World at War, like you see right here, with no cheaters, modded servers, good connection, all of the above. So if you guys ever want to hit me up, make sure you download those mods, and also tune into my streams. We stream these games constantly over there. The link to that is in the description of this video. But ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's video is going to be an absolute banger because this hopefully will expand not just to, very specific games, but every game that potentially tries to finesse over their community, as you can see right here over on Twitter. BGC put out a tweet saying, CD Projekt will pay $1.85 million. Let me go ahead and repeat that. $1.85 million to settle a class action lawsuit alleging that it misled investors over the quality of Cyberpunk 2077. This right here is exactly what I'm talking about, and it's what I was expecting to happen at some point in time. When these publishers go out of their way to specifically make sure to hype up a game, regardless of the state that it's in, to make sure they get extra sales, eventually it's going to bite them in the butt, and it's happening right now as we speak. As we all know, Cyberpunk 2077, even though it's actually a pretty good game right now, when it first launched, it was a disaster. I mean, you could even just look it up on YouTube, the Cyberpunk 2077 initial reviews, and see what that game was like at launch. It was just disgusting. But once again, them, just like many other publishers, are always hyping up the game. Oh yeah, we're way ahead of schedule. Oh yeah, the game looks absolutely fantastic. Picking and choosing very specific snippets to show their audience to make sure nobody sees the disaster that is lying behind that $60 price tag. It's actually an extremely smart move if we're thinking from a business perspective. Not only is it going to finesse millions of people to purchase the game and give them money, but it's also going to get new investors into your company. If people see that you are producing a game that's a banger, your sales are going up, people are really hyping it up, not only will people want to buy the game, but they'll probably, if they want more money in their pockets, invest in the company as well. It's very smart. But at the end of the day, it's probably the scummiest thing in the world that you could possibly do, hence why they are going through a lawsuit right now as we speak. I always think to myself, if I was an investor in one of these companies, and that this is what they're telling me, I would feel the exact same way. I would be pissed off. I would be outraged. You're selling us a pitch, and your pitch isn't, truthful. In any other world, like with all of us consumers, they do it so easily. They always pitch us bull crap, and then, they finesse us, and it's nothing we could do about it. We can try to complain as much as we want, and certain, games are able to handle it by not purchasing the game or, leaving the game. But then there's other games like COD, for example, where everybody still buys it every single year. They're still able to pull the crap that they do every single year. But this situation is much more different than just handling consumers and ripping off consumers. These are top dog investors. And I'm not talking about, like retail investors or traders like, someone like us. I'm talking about real top dog investors, millions of dollars probably being stuffed into these companies out of their pockets with expectations that something is going to come out good, which means that these publishers, these developers behind the scenes talk to these investors, told these investors that this game is going, so far, so good, show them proof, show them all this stuff. And that encouraged them to spend millions on their company, which once again, it's a massive difference from a consumer spending $60 on a game and someone who's behind the scenes discussing business moves with a development team, and then having all the information that they discussed with you turn out to be an absolute lie. This right here is, like I said in the beginning of the video, the push that we, the consumers, need, because we don't have much of a voice. We can complain as much as we want, and we can try to fight, all these development teams as much as we want, but we can only go so far. Some games, like I said, it works, but the majority of the time, the casual player base is just way too massive to even put a dent or even have our voices turn up as a blip on their radar. It's not even a possibility. But when a major investor is, going to basically put you through a whole lawsuit over the bullcrap that you spew to them, that is going to be a massive savior for all of us, because it's going to force these individuals, well, not individuals, but these massive companies, to start producing good games. And when they back up their games with good words, that means typically it will actually be a good project. Now, of course, the developers and publishers have other ways out of it. They just can simply not say the game is looking outstanding. They could say, the game should be out this time and, show a little gameplay and still try to hype us up in a different way. But at the end of the day, regardless of however these publishers, developers handle this, or whatever loophole they try to find in this whole overall process so they don't get sued again in the future and they could still finesse individuals, I think these investors are going to want to see a quality project. They want to see a good game. I don't think they want little money schemes, these partial projects out here that will make, a quick buck and then die off in 5 seconds because they're too risky. I don't think an investor is going to want to put hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into something, knowing that it's going to be, a 50-50 chance, not even a 50-50 chance. The chances are probably even worse for them that it will be successful and they get the money that they want out of their investment. What they really want to see is a really solid project. If you're investing in a team like CD, you're not expecting some half-assed project, am I right or am I wrong? They're expecting quality. So I think from this point on, we're going to start seeing a massive change, and I really hope we do. It might not be soon. It might be something that's going to take years and years and years and years to evolve into something that benefits all of us. But at the end of the day, it's a step in the right direction. It's proof that we are going at least somewhere, and we're not just sitting here stationary, or worst, moving backwards. You never know until you get to see stuff like this, because these companies are massive. To be able to even get any behind the scenes information on how these companies operate or do anything is hard enough as it is. But to see stuff like this happen, like I said, it just puts a smile on my face. And of course, I do want to go ahead and state that it doesn't put a smile on my face because, I'm crazy and I want these people to get fired and lose their jobs and, they can no longer support their family or feed their kids or, put a roof over their head. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I would never wish any of that stuff upon anyone, unless they obviously do something extremely, extremely, extremely horrid to me. But I'm so chill and laid back that I could care less about, a situation like that. I would never do that. But the reason I'm saying this is because I'm very passionate, and I think a lot of you guys are passionate as well. We're gamers, and a lot of us are watching our favorite franchises just absolutely vanish right in front of our eyes. Like you see right here, World at War. This was back in the OG days. This game is ancient, and I could still play at current date along with all the other OG CODs like COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. I can play them all and have a good time. Yeah, they still are cheesy. Yeah, they still got problems, but something about it that still ticks and gives me that replayability factor that I'm just addicted to, And nowadays, fast forward up to current CODs, it's like the technology is improving, the graphics are gorgeous, but they just can't give us the gameplay that, we are begging for. They keep half-assing it. They are finessing the community. They hype us up with trailers, with, positive things to say, and they're basically finessing us along the road, and then basically at launch we get a broken mess. I'm not saying, anything like Modern Warfare 2 is better, because, I do enjoy Modern Warfare 2 a little bit more than Modern Warfare 2019. But compared to the OG games that we are playing right here, it's nothing even compared to these sorts. So it sucks. And I'm not just talking about Call of Duty in general. It's tons of communities out there that are running into the same exact problem. And like I said, I don't think any of us are wishing for these individuals to lose their jobs or get into massive lawsuits where they lose millions and have to end up firing people and stuff of that sort. I don't think we want that. We just want this to help improve our experience, help us get a return back to when games were passionate, had heart behind them, had love behind them. That's all we're really asking for. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor. Make sure you guys go down in the comment section and leave all of your opinions down below on how you feel about this overall topic. Do you all agree that, these companies should be getting these massive lawsuits for obviously falsely saying that these games, I mean, Battlefield 2042 as well. I feel like EA, if anybody, should be getting smacked with a massive lawsuit, right? Because they literally told us that Battlefield 2042 is way ahead of schedule, and you guys saw how that game launched. What a freaking disaster. If there's a lawsuit there, I hope that all of us get a little money out of that bad boy too, you know? I hope everybody that accidentally coughed up some cash on that one gets some cash back on it, even though the game is better now. Man, that first initial, basically year was just a nightmare. But sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Do you guys think that, these companies should get massive lawsuits, or do you think they should, slide right on under them? But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. Bumps, I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification button. Also, want to chat me, this too. We do so have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch, link that in the description as well. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you all next one. Peace out.